We really boxing. Who wanted the baddest? Let's see. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Yo, the JBT is back at you with another raffle. This time we be giving away an iPad, 10th generation iPad on entertainment in the pocket of your hand. So you wonder, how do you get this iPad? It's only $10. We giving away block specials for all our prizes this time around. $10 per entry, 3 entries for just $25 to get you in this time. Who don't love a block special? Not only are we giving away an
All right, so
iPad,
we in here.
but it's more gifts. Who don't love gifts? Gifts on top
Yeah.
of gifts. Send
Everybody
that
here for
money,
BBL.
JBT Network 1, JBT Network 1, JBT Network 1. Now, what you say is the other prizes now? We linked up with Kenichi Bear. Noise canceling headphones from the young brother straight from Baltimore, Maryland. So, if you want an addition to your $10, you get a secondary prize if you don't win the first prize. And then, don't forget, we got more. Don't win the first prize, don't win the second prize. Who don't need an air fryer? We giving away a Ninja air fryer. Get your food right, eat healthy, get right. All on the JBT. $10 once again. I get you all of this. Your chance is golden. You got to be in it to win it. If you ain't in it, you don't get no prize. $10, JBT Network 1. Good luck. It's on you.
Hey yo, BBO, you in
We in
here,
the
dog?
building.
Oh, he ain't even in here.
You
Just messing. What all up in here though? What's good with you, man?
chilling, brother, chilling, man. What's going on with y'all?
Oh man, just talking, shooting stuff,
Feel you.
talking about topics that pertinent to
Yeah, I
the
couldn't hear
time.
you,
And
fam, if you was talking.
you was talking to me. Oh no, well, you're talking about stuff that is like,
The same old, bruh.
well, nah, well, we were talking well, we started off with the Norman and Booth situation.
That
And
fantasy
then it
fight. Okay.
segue to all kinds of other things and like the things that are kind of plaguing boxing right now. And then we segued back to the matches of yesteryear and things like that. So you came in on some of the tail end stuff that we was talking about, but
Cool.
you did catch some of the things we was talking about, and you always have great takes, man. So what you was thinking?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I guess the last take you guys were talking about people ducking Tank ducking Haney. I mean, I don't know how you can duck Haney, but like Haney, I believe was like at that point they got their titles like at the same time because Haney was like champion in recess for a cool minute. I mean, Lomachenko was still champion at the time.
Yeah, we agree on that point.
You know, so I mean,
Yo, how my
That's why.
audio? I'm coming through, Big Dre.
Yeah, you coming through, Big Dre
D-Hill,
on
you
me.
can hear me?
Yeah, you loud
Yeah,
and clear. You
yeah,
can't hear me.
I can hear you,
You
B3.
can't hear.
Okay,
B3, you
cool.
can't
I
hear us?
didn't know if I was coming through or not.
sound clear
Yeah,
to
I
me,
mean,
brother.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I think D Free put it pretty eloquently. Like, um, it was going to be difficult. Floyd ultimately, and Floyd and Al, they didn't see the financial benefits of making the Devin versus Tank fight. Um, it didn't. I guess it did. It just didn't make sense for them to do the fight at any point up till now. But it was at least I would have liked to see Tank fight for undisputed to have all the belts. I mean, I know it's not really beneficial for him because he has to pay those sanctioning fees. But after the Loma fight, I think that's when it would have been uh And even then, the Loma fight was a little controversial, so it made that still probably took some of the luster off of it. Even though Al and PBC, they wasn't really looking to make the fight, but all in still, they move. I mean, they moved around Devin. I mean, when the WBA was consolidating the belts, there was no talk about Devin, and I mean, of course, we all talked about it. Everybody wanted it, but they was never gonna allow that fight to happen for the when the WBA was consolidating belts. So I mean, you got after the Loma fight, it was no mention, and then Devin was popping. He talking like he wanted to fight after the Regis fight, and then everybody said, of course, you want to fight your weight bully, blase blah. So they didn't. Tank didn't make the fight after the Regis fight as well. So I mean, they just don't want to fight. It is what it is.
I think Team Haney didn't want that fight. I think what that is what it boiled down to, because they called Tank's name every time either he had a fight or they had a fight, and when they knew that the fights couldn't be made. Now, early on in their career, it probably wasn't a good idea to make the fight because it wouldn't have made any money. They were still too young. Still, after Tank had a championship and Devin had a championship, it became more feasible, but the opportunities weren't there. Um, it was it probably would could have happened between no, it couldn't happen between Cambosis 1 and 2
Not
because
with Bob in the picture.
it couldn't happen between Cambosis 2 and Loma um, because he was contractually obligated to fight Loma. Um,
But Big Dre,
it was a draw
we up here,
after the Cambosis fight.
Big Dre is late. We up here, we chopping it up, so we gonna have to keep it a stack. Uh, when Devin was over here, walking around with the WBC belt that Loma had vacated, and Devin was defending it 3, 4, 5, however many times before he fought Cambosis. Tank Tank was moving up and down all in around 135. You see what I'm saying? So
Right. So
I know
he
everybody think it wasn't feasible, but you got one person that's looking to be the man of the division. So if you 135, then you got to be the man. You got to be the man with all the hardware. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's what I'm saying. We can get into where it's two different games. You got the money game. This is really prize fighting. So at the end of the day,
that's
I
what
mean, if you
Floyd
you
them
making
came.
the most, but that's what you're really fighting for. But then on top of that, so really that's why the belts came up that day. Everybody was saying that the belts didn't matter. But that's what I'm saying. But now the belts gonna matter? Nah, I'm not with that. I don't think the belts is gonna matter now. Because they didn't matter when undefeated American champion that did Australian pay-per-views and now a USA pay-per-view. If he's not if he's not if they don't see the money in the fight for him, Shakur already told y'all that it could be possible for Devin to lose, before they make that fight happen. So why push it down the road? So ultimately, what I'm saying is they never wanted that fight because when we seen what happened, what Tank's response was when Devin lost, you know what I'm saying? It was, of course he came out and said, yeah, we can still run it or whoop de whoop. But let's be clear. He's a, they what D Free say they got the same fan base, it's the same pot, and what all Floyd always say that do a fighter with a country behind them is more lucrative. So they not in a position to they not pressed to give Devin Haney opportunity, especially when they not on the same side of the street. You know,
I agree
he
with
not. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm not people. When you say stuff like what I'm saying is, people think that you are discrediting Tank. Tank has no control over opponent selection, in my opinion. Now, because he
you.
can't force no,
Especially at that time of his career. Especially at that time of his career.
especially then, but Big Dre even now, because you gotta think about it, even with the Brian Norman situation, they put it out there. Tank gotta pay your promoter 20% just to get you on his side. You see what I'm saying? That's for so he's got loophole. I mean, he's got barriers to fight these top guys. So with a guy like I mean, with a only really when you a free agent, can I really put the onus on you to make the fight with Tank? You see what I'm saying? Because it ain't no guarantee that it's enough money in it to pay your handlers when you sign to multiple entities. Now, if you
But
got a
that's why.
management team and yourself and your trainer, that's one thing. But if you have multiple management teams, maybe you have a promotional team. Some of these guys be having a low end promoter, and then they'll have a top promoter like Samson or like Golden Boy. You know, that be the top guy, but then they'll have like a local promoter. So I mean, a lot of these dudes is hamstring to make the fight. So Tank, I mean, Tank and I mean
That's
he
why
in
Tank
the
is currently under his own promotional banner. So he is his own promotional company. He has his own deal with Amazon. So he's while he fights via the PBC, he's not fighting under the PBC. So he's got that loophole there. That's
Well,
that's one barrier, one hurdle. So yeah, he got to pay his management company, and he got to pay Al, and he got to pay with Tom Brown Promotions, because Tom Brown Promotions is the guy that's doing all the heavy lifting. Um,
they paying Tank. Tank is there. Tank is cleaning up. I mean he's cleaning up. Let's consider this. We talking
GTD
about a
Promotions,
generational talent. He's cleaning up, man.
Tank gets the small end of the stick, but GTD Promotions, which is his, gets the big end of the stick.
But my whole thing is, but what I'm saying is, he's cleaning up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what else? I mean, to be a prize fighter, I mean, he's the definition of it
Oh yeah,
well, I
because
think
he gets paid. Between him and Canelo, they making all the money.
definitely Canelo. Hey,
I mean, this kid. I mean, I just it's astonishing. Uh, of the work that he's doing and what he's generating. Um, I mean, just think about this, and this is no shade though, right? But relatively unknown guys. You know, he put 5 million. He did a $5 million gate with Hector in DC. You know what I'm saying? Literally unheard of. Nobody knew who Hector was. You see what I'm saying? And then ultimately, $16 million gate with Frank Martin. You know, which
that's
Frank
impressive.
Martin never been a champion.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Um, no, no,
Go out here and get him a belt.
come on, man.
No, but that's impressive. No, that is
So I
literally
mean,
impressive.
I say all that to say that is that uh what he's doing is unprecedented. Um, yeah, I mean, it would just be nice if they I just the only piece about it as a Tank fan, me personally, that I don't like is the fact that he's in a position where everything he's done is a segment of people will still get an opportunity to discredit him
Well,
Mm.
based off of the opponents, you know what I'm saying, not being able to secure or land the big fights or the big names.
I think it's laying the groundwork for to make the fights that are considered the big fights even bigger, and also to make the fight possible or more feasible. you take a lower guarantee, but you bet in on a percentage on the back end. So I think that's how the fights get made. That's how these people get greased, the palms of these people that got to be greased, and yet you still get a great return on your investment because you're betting on yourself. And it's hard to get the people that you're fighting against to agree to those terms, but that's what you ultimately got to do. You got to agree to take less so you can get more at the end. And I mean, that's what, you know, having the fight being made, if it can be, see, to me, like, if you can't get these fights made at 135, and the only fights I care about at 135 is Shakur and Loma. After that, I don't care about 135. So now you got to make a move up to make the fights that's going to matter to most folks. Because I know if it matters to me, then for the most part, it's going to matter to a lot of people because, hell, I like to see great matchups. So the greater matchups are not at 135 outside of Shakur and Loma. And Loma, a lot of people don't want to see anyway, but it's the best fight possible. So when you asked me earlier, all the way back when we were on the first live, who do I want to see? I said Shakur ideally, but I still think that Loma fight is still available, and I hope that they're still trying to pitch to get him to accept it, give him whatever money he needs because this is going to be his severance package. He knows that when he steps in that ring, it's a good chance that that boy about to do a sleep study. And, what I'm saying, he going to get fitted for his CPAP. So we gotta pay him. And that's why I don't disagree totally with what's going on with your take with Boots and Norman. Because ultimately you want to become undisputed, you got to take that fight. Your window is closing, so you got to make that fight. And if $500,000 gets you that fight, then somehow, some way, your people gonna have to secure that 500,000, especially since they promised you to be in big fights. So that's why I don't push all the way against it, but I do push against the fact that somebody else is telling the other opponent fighter, the opponent, that they need to just go on and give up $500,000 so we can make this fight happen. Make you freaking know I worked for this. So I'm just not gonna give it up just so you can get a chance to get paid $1 million. Please,
Yeah,
please put butts in seats, headline shows. You know what I'm saying? Then come holler at me.
you
But
still
see,
young.
go.
You'll have a chance to take home that $1 million, take home pay, but not tonight. Let's get this on. Let's get it done, and I'll even give you a rematch clause.
Well, I think as a champion, he deserves a rematch clause.
So
You know what I'm saying? I would, if I was him, I would negotiate that big time. And on top of that, I think our rematch should be elsewhere, not just here. But
yes, a
but
rematch
but
either in my hometown or a neutral site.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
But I gotta throw this in there because I mean maybe you T here when you were saying, well, if you give Norman an extra 5,000, then you gotta give Stanionis an extra 5,000. My whole thing is if you give Norman a rematch clause, you gotta give Stanionis a rematch clause. So then Boots in two fights with Norman, 2 fights with Stanionis, 2 fights with Barrios. That don't add up either. So well, ultimately the
so, you give
the
wording on this rematch clause. So you give them a rematch clause, um,
And a close decision.
and for uh, a decision uh, with a less than 3 round split. So if I wipe you 8-4, okay, no rematch. That wasn't a close enough fight.
A
I'll
Definitely.
four,
knock
but
you
that's what I'm
out.
saying. A4 and D free. A4 ain't my A4 because he had Madrimov a little closer than me. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
man. If the fight if the
but
fight
I got you, Big John. I'm just playing. But yeah, I
is
got you.
if it's a close fight and you're within 3 rounds, okay, you get your rematch.
You definitely gotta wait it because, like you said, somebody's gonna parlay off of that, and that just like that just exacerbates the time frame. So
Right,
yeah,
but
you got to be
if you
smart in the way you negotiate that rematch clause. But I mean, honestly, if I'm Mike suffer career like suicide, then I'm definitely gonna try to negotiate a way to get me another payday out of this thing. And while
Yeah,
I'm in that ring, as long as I'm in that ring, it's gonna be fireworks. So Mickey Frickies will want to see the next one.
absolutely.
So I'm going in there and I'm
Eddie
banging this
Hearn is
Mickey
playing
Fricky.
big. He's trying to make Boost the big bad wolf out here. Lowballing offers. Nobody batting an eye when Boots didn't agree to fight Barrios or Stanionis because they know that them PBC fights are unrealistic.
No,
The only thing is that Norman and his son, Norman Senior and his son is out here, boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? They're back against the wall. They really got to be out here answering for themselves. Barrios, he fought Tank and Thurman. He don't have to answer no questions. Stanionis is with Al. He don't really have to answer no questions. My whole thing is this: Boots needs Brian Norman, Norman Jr. and Norman Senior. Their plan and what they thought was that the Boots fight was going to be undisputed. That's what they was talking about prior to this whole situation with Boots saying that they ducked the fight or they didn't take the offer, whatever the case may be, whatever he had said. And then that's when the full blitz came out to make the fight. So,
well,
I
what
mean,
was the offer was sent, the offer was rejected. That's
yeah.
all. The offer was sent, rejected, and in technical terms, he's correct. I sent you.
But Norman seeing them, they didn't like how Boots' mannerisms. They thought that he was a little like they was kind of not interested in the fight or whatever. You know, like they was like Junior was like didn't want to fight.
Bozy. Bozy don't handle negotiation. Bozy's a dad, just like you are, but Bozy don't handle negotiations. Bozy's a trainer, but
Yeah.
he don't handle negotiation. He's got a management team for that. So you told Bozy what you wanted, but you didn't tell the management team. And then when you sent the you know the counter offer back, um, the counter offer said you wanted 2.2 million, and Eddie said we can't go that high. We'll add something on here and send it back. They rejected it again. So again, they added something on there and sent it back. So now you've got a third offer in your hand, and it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.6 to 1.7 million dollars. And all you looked at was what Boots got made in his last fight. This ain't Boots' last fight. You ain't Boots. You know, you can't compare yourself to the A side of the last fight and to what the B side gonna get in this fight. Now, if you compare yourself to the B side in the last fight, yeah, I can understand.
Hey,
But you didn't want to compare yourself to what Avenesian got.
let's be honest, Big Dre. Um, Norman Jr. has the belt, but he don't really even have the market for a fight like this because when you consider that this guy's he's gonna take home 800 to 500,000, between 500, depending on the taxes, 500 to 800,000 for the fight Jerron Ennis in a unification. When you got Boots, I mean, you got years prior, so we got talking inflation and everything. Years prior, this dude Eddie Hearn paid Jojo Diaz a 1.5 to fight Devin. You see what I'm saying? So
But
the
he
scales is
both those
it's
at the
not
time,
adding up.
both of those fighters.
Hmm.
At the time, Eddie Hearn controlled both of those fighters. He controlled JoJo.
No. He
He
got
had control over that.
he got Jojo from Golden Boy, but but my whole thing is this, man. These Eddie need to cough up that bread. I mean, but if it ain't there, then it ain't there. I mean, if it ain't there, it ain't no fight.
Well,
I can't say Norman
maybe
Jr. ducking because Norman Jr. 23.
Like I said, Eddie got the blueprint because because Boots just fought at the Wells Fargo Center in July. So if he takes those numbers, okay, for a fight from a couple months ago, and you got all of the numbers from the gate to the parking to the beer sales. I mean, all the way down to the popcorn and the French fries. You know how much money this is going to bring in. It was
Okay.
review. The pay-per-view numbers. So now that's the one variable you can't get is that pay-per-view. Is this going to garner the interest that the last fight got? Is it going to be greater, or is there more people going to steal it? But
Okay.
still, for the way things are going, and I'm going to put it even with that last fight. Okay, plus or minus 10%. That gives you an exact number to deal with. That's a budget. So now, how much of this budget? I know I gotta pay Boots. Okay, that's X number of dollars. Period. There's no way to get around that. That's in his contract. We've already got that set. That number's set.
To be
Now I
honest, I
need.
think Boots should call his bluff.
My whole thing is this, Big Dre. But the thing about Eddie set a precedent that nobody wants to hold him to anymore. He overpaid to get into the U.S. market. He overpaid a lot of they people think he overpaid Boo Boo Andre. People think Tevin and Devin for sure. He gave Jorge Lares a lot of money to fight Devin, so he built Devin up. Um,
Oh,
so we not giving him a pass.
No,
For
I'm not
he got to
giving him.
make these fights. Yeah, he has to make these unification fights. It's mandatory. The
But
onus is on him to make them
you also got
because Boots
Dre.
because
how many
ultimately
fights?
this
How
dude is
many
about
fights
to
take losing money?
think about this though, Big Dre. But over $500,000, additional 500,000 that Eddie made that he will have to recoup another way. He he has to his fighter has to drop his belt and move up in weight. You see what I'm saying? Like this stuff is crazy, man.
Well,
So is he
Big
more
Dre.
valuable? So now you gotta build him. Now you gotta put him
He
in.
gonna fight this mandatory for whatever this chump change is out here, and then
So Eddie gonna overpay again for the purse bid. Cause
Yo,
his gate, I don't think Boost Gate made 3 million. If
hold
I'm
on
not
for a second.
mistaken, I don't think the 14 tickets made 3 million. I had to look it up.
Hold on for a
But
second.
if his purse was 3 million,
he
Yo,
all
can you
then
hear me?
Eddie overbid for the fight.
Can y'all hear
We
me?
can hear you, Thomas. We can hear you, Thomas.
Unless he used his
yeah.
own, unless he used some of his TV money, his TV money to pay Boots. But
Yo, let Puro get his stuff off. He was just about to say something about calling bluffs.
No, I was just saying that I think Boots should call Norman Jr.'s bluff, bruh, and just pull a Lomachenko and, just give him a little bit of his person so they can get this fight over the line, bro. Because to me, like if I'm in Boots' position, this is the easiest unification that there's ever going to be in that division, Because even though Norman Jr., I like him. He showed a lot of resilience in the fight versus Santillan. Obviously, he's had some, lackluster performances before that, but he's a good little fighter. But I mean, to gain a belt that easy with a less experienced opponent, shit, man, I would call his bluff. That's just me.
But you also got to do it. You also got to do it behind closed doors so that it doesn't get out.
I agree with that. I
I
think
agree
that
with that too.
Right now, they got
that's where they dropped the ball.
too much stuff out in the open, and that's one of the
Yeah, they
reasons
made it public.
everybody know what everybody else is thinking and what they were doing, and who they were screwing and how much money they got in their pocket. And when you
Hmm.
start pocket watching, the other fighters, and
So you
you got it
said
all,
something that was. Oh my bad, Big Dre. Go ahead.
and you got it all out in the open. If they'd have made this fight, it should have been made behind closed doors. The management team and the promotional team should have got in a room and said, "Let's do this. Let's make it work." And I think if that had happened, They could have got it done in 5 to 6 days, and made the numbers work, because there's no reason for it not to. And
Okay.
I don't think there's any reason that this fight shouldn't have been made. Um, because when you start comparing apples to lemons, you know, you just don't end up with the right numbers.
But you end up with some bomb ass apple juice though. Hey, let me say this. Let me say this. Everybody who has spoke right now on this matter, I believe all are correct in what they're saying. I think because it matters more to Boots because his time frame and his shelf life at this division is getting smaller and smaller and shrinking by the moment. You know, you're definitely gonna have to do something to get that unification bout. Also, you said the key is point to me. They already have the formula. They know the numbers. So we could tweak a little bit of the pricing of the numbers to get that 500,000 that they asking for, where we can make the deal. So maybe parking instead of we increase parking up 1%. We increase the price of the tickets up maybe 2 to 3%. We increase the concessions up another 2 to 3%, and somehow, some way, these numbers balance out to that 500,000 that they asking for, just to give them that kickback that they want. So you just mark it up over on those things to get the fight happening, because like they said, Eddie has a history of over promising and under delivering. And he got to change that narrative by any means necessary. And it's really up to him to do that. It's not up to Boots to sacrifice what he earned, but you said you was going to give me the best fights and you were going to put me in circumstances where I could shine. So you figure that ish out. Kick up that type that popcorn, them soda drinks. Maybe that price on the admission. Kick it up just a little bit. That the price to come in part, so that you know what, we get that 500 grand. Find a way to make those numbers equal 500 grand, and make the necessary modifications so we can get the fight popping.
So what you're saying is, instead of, those upper tier fights, upper tier seats being $65, they $75 now.
Maybe.
And those floor seats, those $500 floor seats, now $650.
Okay.
We ain't talking about breaking the bank. We're just talking about making it a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Right, you're getting a high dollar card now. So, and Boots has already been here, and you know what he's going to do. So we gonna up the ticket prices a little bit, just so we can crank them, and we can see if we can't make up that difference.
And on top of that, because it's probably going to exceed the $500,000, buy something that these people can take home. The person, one of the people in the stands, could take home as a winner. Man, we got a raffle going on for a lucky customer to walk out this event with this. So you make it an incentive for them to show up. Like, hey, yo, I show up, I can get this.
Oh yeah,
I think the fans would appreciate it too, bro. Because ain't nobody trying to see the rematch with him and Karen, bro. Come on.
Hell no. I know I'm not.
Listen,
definitely
they
not.
give away them tickets to the Karen.
And it's still. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
You was gonna say?
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Big Dre. My bad.
No, I thought B3 was saying something, or maybe that was Pearl.
No. I was waiting for y'all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, Piro said that don't nobody really want to see that what's her name match, that rematch.
Karen rematch. Yeah, that's the last thing I said.
Yeah, and they're gonna be giving away seats at the Karen fight.
Exactly. So if you're gonna give away something, you just charge a little bit more, make the numbers match up to a certain amount, give them a prize that some lucky fan can walk away with. Hell, it could even be a couple of lucky fans walk away with, because when you think about 14,000, this time it might be 15,000, it might be 16,000. And on top of that, you hitting them on the parking, you hitting them on concessions a little bit more, and you hitting them to get in the building. Yeah, man, they can walk away with a prize. And on top of that, they're getting a great fight.
Yeah,
with implications that mean something in Philly.
hell,
Yeah, man.
we just road trip to Philly, and I got no problem doing it again.
Yep. Had a great time out there.
You know, that'd be another meet and greet. We can hang out and hit up the fight. And that's it'd be a good time. Shit.
I
You
mean,
know they
all the fights that can make at welterweight and Karen rematch is really the best they could do. Come on.
And it's a win-win situation because, like you said, you avoid having to fight Karen.
Mhm.
You make this fight a unification fight, and it's in Philadelphia. How many title fights have they seen in Philadelphia as of late?
as of late,
I
one.
can't recall.
Just the one that you went to.
Yeah,
So now we talking about we got a unification match with somebody that said, your fighter, your hometown fighter is pillow fisted and fighting scripted fights.
yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be a recipe for bad blood and up in there and some grueling matches. I mean, some grueling action in the ring. Man, people coming to see that. They coming to see that.
Listen, people in Philly gonna turn out because you called the man pillow fisted.
Pillow fisted.
You can't call somebody from Philly pillow fisted. They just them Philly fans ain't having it. You know. I think what it is the with the purse bid when the purse bid was looming, and they had the opportunity to make the fight, it should have been made. There's just absolutely no reason for it not to be made, and I blame um, I blame Greg Senior for being stubborn. I blame Eddie for not just going ahead and you know the numbers, you know what this fight's going to mean, and you know you know how much it means to Boots um, to make this fight, uh, and it would be just icing on the cake. It will be a straw in your cap to say, hey, I got it done. Then all you got to do is start working on the Stanionis fight and the Barrios fight. It's 3 fights, 18 months. You can get it done. But see, now you got this Karam fight that you got to get in and get out of unscathed. Nobody's looking for Karam to win this fight, but um, hey, this is boxing. Every puncher has a puncher's chance.
That's the truth. That is most definitely a truth. And the reason why you do what you got to do to man, you told that man you was gonna be able to put him in big fights. A
Yeah,
unification is a big fight in his hometown, and like I said, there are ways for you to get that 500,000. Do what you gotta do to get that 500,000, so you can get this man the fight that you promised him you was gonna get.
Yeah, man. Only time will tell, I guess.
well, they got to get through the Karam fight now because the purse bid is come and gone, and Normans have signed a contract to be on the Keyshawn Davis undercard. So they're in a fight. They're obligated to fight there. It just makes this one messy.
Yeah, if all that's true, yeah, I don't think that Norman Jr. fight's happening then.
Yeah,
Not
uh,
anytime soon, but
they
it is
they
what it
they
is.
were, they were in they were already in negotiations to be in a fight on the Keyshawn Davis undercard down in Norfolk.
Mm.
So
Yeah, it sounds like to me this was all a bunch of bullshit. You know.
I think
Yeah.
I think there
Oh
was
well.
a genuine effort made.
Hmm.
Uh, it just
Didn't work out.
well you I think the Normans looked at the wrong purse. You know
Mm.
They looked at what Boots made last fight, and yeah, Boots made 3.3 his last fight.
Well,
Okay,
that's
so
Boots though.
you want 2.2 to fight it, but what Boots made his last fight is not as important as what his opponent made his last fight. Cause see,
Mm.
that's the scale you should be being paid on. Okay, well, that was a $500,000, $575,000 is what I believe what David Avanesian was paid. Okay, well, Avanesian was paid 575. Well, I got a belt that's worth $500,000. Well, that's worth $1 million.
Mm.
So you got 575 plus the million. That's 1.575. That's almost 1.6. Aren't we in this? Aren't we in that same boat right now? Isn't that where the negotiations stopped at? 1.7.
Yeah, it
Oh, yeah.
is.
I mean, I
But
think that, and I think
well,
that's
that's
how.
what was reported. That's reported. Your boy's got a history of not telling the truth too.
Hey, I can only go by what I read.
No, no, I got you. I'm just saying, like, that's what was reported. Now, if it was actual, factual, who knows? But it was reported out there is that, you got the manager saying, nah, he telling the story. It really wasn't that much that was offered. And they didn't start with no million. They started off with like 500,000 or some stuff like that. So, it's depending on which side you listen to.
I heard it was 725 that they started with,
Oh
or
yeah,
that
725. You right.
um and uh and they increased that to 1.25, and the second offer,
Yeah.
excuse me, was 1.25. The third one was, somewhere between 1.5 and 1.7. That's where the numbers get really fuzzy.
Yeah.
They're all liars to me, bruh. So it's
Hey
like whatever.
man, I know is that's more in one night than I made last year. So I can't
Hey, I
count.
gotta pay to watch the fights, bruh. You know.
Yeah, I gotta pay to watch the fight.
Mm.
I can't even get a press pass. And
Change, my good brother, because you're gonna be part of the committee that gets that what you call it, the accredit the credentials to go on up in there and take field questions and whatnot, do interviews for the network. But I mean, like, yeah, I agree. Like, it's plenty of blame to throw around. But the bigger blame is making it public, man. Like the old adage is that you keep this stuff under wraps until it come out and materialize itself.
Facts.
And go ahead.
I was saying facts. I was agreeing with
And I feel that's where the ball was truly dropped because now that it's a public, people gonna come back and reply, especially if you don't paint it in a favorite light regarding them, and therefore the communication, the avenue of communication now breaks and wanes, and now we got a back and forth going instead of dialogue that could be beneficial to getting the fight. Like you never throw numbers out there. See, that's the thing that messes up a lot of things when you start talking about money because everybody likes to count other people's money when they're in the same situation. Okay, so this dude Avanesian got this amount of money, but he wasn't a champion. So I am a champion. You need this belt. If you want me to go up into your place and put my belt on the line and risk everything, oh, it's gonna cost you. Especially if I lose, it could be the end of my career. I might never get this opportunity again because we've seen a lot of people before me not have the opportunity, no matter how good they were and how well they did in matches. So people are looking at that as a thing, and then you got the catch 22 is if you don't accept this money, which would have been your biggest pay period, like by almost 9 times, almost 10 times of what you got in your last fight. You
It's
go back and huh?
about 8.5.
By 8.5. So like you almost at 10 times the amount you made in your last fight. You go and accept a fight on somebody else's undercard in a lesser city that will have eyes on it, and you run the risk of fighting it for like 300,000 and losing your belt. So now you've lost everything, including your biggest payday. It's like a lot of things can take place, but hopefully,
Yeah, he go down. He go down
hopefully,
and take a L. Um, not only did he lose that 1.7, but he lost the opportunity to make that 1.7. He's also pushed the reset button, which sent him to the back of the line so he can start his journey all over again.
and let's face it, that's going to be a long journey. So man, it's a lot of risk and a lot of
Yeah,
high
that's at
risk.
least 10 fights, because once you get that L, they move you over to the losers bracket, and you fight in the L bracket.
And it's 3 times harder to get up out of that L bracket to go back there and contend for a title again. And I mean, that's what he's looking at. And unfortunately, because the numbers was put up there and people got emotional and ran their mouth, we don't get a chance at a fight. I think like cooler heads would have prevailed, and there was no name throwing, nobody throwing dirt at the other person.
Right.
Maybe cooler heads prevail, and they say, "Look, this is a way we can get the fight done. Here, we scale here, we scale here, we scale here. All right, we cut here, we cut here, we cut here, and we
Yeah.
can make the numbers balance."
And I think you hit the nail on the head too, bro. I mean, like these young fighters, they don't take like a picture of the big money makers in the sport. Like you don't see Canelo like talking all these numbers in public, or Tank
Oh,
or Floyd or AJ. None of these guys, bro. They announce a fight, and then people start talking, bro. But you never hear them negotiating in public.
yeah, because negotiations don't get made in public.
Facts.
That's the thing. Like, it's definitely not getting made on YouTube.
Oh, definitely not getting made
If,
on you.
if that was the case, then on H Money Mob, we would have got the Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney fight.
Man, it's funny you mentioned that H Money Mob. Them boys go hard and they go
Oh, they
all.
do.
And I listened to them one about 20 minutes.
You get to turn it off.
Oh man, I haven't heard so much cursing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my boy H, bro. I love
I
his
think
channel, man. That was great.
They don't hide. They don't hide. They don't hold nothing back.
Nah, man, free smoke.
It's smoke all day, every day. That matter of fact, we probably can go there right now, and there's smoke going on right now.
Probably.
you know.
Yeah, they don't play. It's not for the faint of heart over there.
On God. On
Oh
everything I
man,
love.
they cuss each other out quick over there.
Yeah, man.
But I ain't gonna lie, man. That damn live when he had Bill on there, then Shakur hopped on there, then Dev hopped on there. That was so damn lit. I thought for sure the fight was about to be made, man. The way that all transpired, but I had to
Think.
realize, man.
Mhm.
Hmm?
I said you would think, but go ahead, my bad, brother.
Oh no, you good. I just knew that fights don't get made on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, the
They
people
might
who
start
really,
to though.
yeah, you could spark it,
Yeah,
but you
boy,
ain't striking no deals on YouTube. And unfortunately,
especially on
you know,
H. Boy, they go hard.
oh no, that whole man, that freaking live was so hot, man. I was at work, I was stoked. Cause man, you got a show that you watch on a regular basis, and you see these two Mickey Frickies pop on there. Like I'm used to seeing Bill, so it wasn't that much of a shock, and I'm used to Bill talking his ish. But when Shakur popped on, and then Devin Haney popped on, and they talk. I'm like, oh man, we might get this fight.
Yeah,
And like Poro said about Boots, I thought Shakur should have called the bluff. Yeah, you know what? That's a offer that you wouldn't get if you was the mandatory. It's like 10% less, I think, or maybe it was 5% less. But you can be the champion and you can get all the belts and you can force his hand, see if he really is talking that talk and walking that walk, or if he just over there sitting smoke screen,
Yup.
smoke signals. So I agree, man. You know, at some time you gotta call it, and you gotta be able. What's up with you, Juan Claudio? Man, good morning to you. You gotta be able to. You gotta be able to put your client and yourself in the ability to make a play. Like, yo, we could find a way to get this money. Now I don't know how you gonna do it, but you know there are ways that you can come about getting this extra money that they're asking for on a back end somehow, some way. Maybe we could do it through concession. Maybe we could do it through parking. Maybe we could do it through ticket sales. Maybe we could do it through advertisement. Maybe we could do it any type of way, but we got to get this money because this Mickey Friggy just called me pillow fisted. Said I was up in the ring with staged fighters, fighters that didn't want to fight me. He said he was gonna mollywop me, so we got to set this up.
Yeah, man.
Cause Eddie, you can't be promising. You can't be promising the world, and you know what I'm saying. You're not delivering on nothing you promise, and that's the only reason why I understand where they are coming from when they say, "Yo, it's only $500,000." Well, $500,000 is a lot of money. Let's
Yeah,
be clear. My man didn't make $500,000 on his purse the last fight, so it is a lot of money. But at the same time, it's money that you could recoup somehow, some way. And then there's the great Turkey Allah Savior for boxing. You know what I'm saying? He said he ain't got no problem making the fight. Well, this is a fight that we want to see. Why can't we make this fight?
Why indeed?
Turkey, you putting the event on. It's really under your umbrella. Charge these Mickey Frickies a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Throw out another card to your kinfolk that you say one that was just a random audience member that got the card. Take it back home and let the Tigers have a roll of it when they out there in the backyard or whatever the case may be, because they be having the exotic animals as pets. but make the fight, make the fight, and like I said, call bluffs. You all right? Bet you got it. We gonna do it for the extra $500,000. Let's go. Here go the contract. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Oh, we'll see what happens, man. Man, I'm out, man. I'm about to fall asleep, brothers. But
Yeah,
nice talking
man.
about the
Always,
drops.
always a pleasure, Puro, man. Good hearing from you. I know
Likewise,
you
man. We'll see
tired.
you on the next one, man. What's up, brother?
All right. I
What were you
said I
saying?
know you tired. You guys on the East Coast.
No, I'm in the
Yeah,
West Coast.
Oakland. Are you on the West Coast?
Yeah, I'm in the West. I'm in LA.
Word. All right,
Los
bet.
Angeles, California, man. Yeah, brother.
Man.
All right, fellas. I'm out. Peace.
But that's what I say, Big Dre, man. Honestly, after missing out on so many fights from the fights I want to see, and having these people that make these fights talk about how they can put these people in position to make the fights, then you got to earn up to your words, man. You got to make your words have some kind of meat and some merit. So let's make the fights. But at the same time, dog, you should not be counting somebody else's pocket. You shouldn't be turning down the biggest purse that you've ever made. You shouldn't have the gall to think that you should get money that you haven't even put in the work to get. Because let's face it, he has not put that work in. You know what I'm saying? He just won one fight to make himself champion. But yeah, man, I know you tired, bro. I'm gonna let you go and get you some rest, dog.
Yo, fellas, I'm out.
We really boxing. Who wanted the baddest?